This town.
Brinshander. Because there's
Yes.
literally nothing else to do in Targus. We completed all the side quests.
And every time I see it, I want to make that into Brian Shander.
Who is Brian? And where is
Hmm.
his Shander? Maybe it's Brian's Hander.
Well, it's only because of um, the Gaelic pronunciations
Ah,
for like Irish.
okay. That makes sense.
That's either Burn or it's Brian. Or I think there was another one. Green, I think, is a variant that it could be that could go with that spelling. So yeah, it makes my eye twitch every time.
You're like, I don't know which one it should be.
Right.
There's so many options.
Well, regardless of the correct option, you find yourselves back in town.
In the Shander.
Mm-hmm.
Time of day is it?
Um,
I
that's
don't
a
remember what
good
time of day we
question.
left Targus at. I know it's not far, but I don't know if we like left morning or midday or when.
I think you guys rested there for a couple days, so you probably left like late
Oh
morning.
yeah, because of all the exhaustion.
Yeah.
So we just sat there and did nothing for a few days.
It's
Well,
probably like
there was
midday.
drinking. There was a lot of drinking involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's how you relax. It's fine.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, is this the town where Wayfo has the thing with the one tavern?
Yes,
I
the
think so.
Northlook.
Yes. Um, so I think the first thing that Wayfo would do is go over there to let them know that he's back,
I can
so
go for a
that he
drink.
would be, happy to continue to assist.
I'd be happy to give them business.
And also to see if perhaps at that tavern they happen to have a jobs board, and if not, where they might have one. Basically, inquire at the place where everybody lubricates their vocal cords.
All right. Uh, they tell you they don't have an official jobs wanted board. Some people post it unofficially at the various taverns around town. Including this one sometimes.
Surely you know many of the locals. Do you know anyone who needs assistance with things?
Well, there's always someone who needs assistance. It's just a matter of what kind of help you're looking to provide.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. What kind of assistance are you looking to provide?
Precisely.
I'm just gonna not say anything. I'm just gonna let this happen. This is great. This is wholesome.
It, he's gonna look over to Dalar. Did your friend get stuck in a loop or something?
No, I heard him. He's good. He knows what he's talking about.
Do you know what he's talking about? Because I don't.
Well, didn't you hear him? What was the question again?
What kind of help are you looking to provide?
And Wayfo, you said?
Yes.
And I'll just give like an exaggerated hand gesture, like, you see?
Well, if you really do look to provide any sort of help, he lifts his foot up onto the table. I got the nastiest sore on my foot here. Could do something about that, that'd be great.
All right,
Uh,
Wayfo.
Wei Fo is going to take a look at it using his medicine skill,
All right.
I'm not
and
going to help with that, even though I've got good medicine checks. I don't want to stare at a sore.
and he will even preface it with, I'm not an expert in medicine. However, this needs amputation immediately.
That's the thing. It really does. He should have been to a doctor weeks ago, and he didn't.
Yeah. Um. Is this like the toe? Like, does he have like severe frostbite that is now, advancing on there?
Yeah, that's pretty accurate there. There are definitely some spots where you can look through his foot.
And so basically, I will look at him and say, "Did you wish me to take care of this right here in the tavern, or is there someplace private that you would like us to go?"
That depends. What exactly are you planning on doing to it?
Fixing it.
How?
Well,
Eh,
this toe needs to be removed in the most expedient fashion possible. And then, of course, the wound will need to be cauterized. You will most likely pass out at that point. Then these parts here and here will also need to be cauterized to remove the infection and potential gangrene. But fortunately, you will probably have already passed out from the pain of having your toe removed and having the wound closed over. This should have been taken care of weeks, if not a month ago.
Oh, don't tell me. Yeah, I know. Let's do this. I got a room in the back. Let's do it there. He grabs a bottle of spirits, takes a nice big swig of it, and carries it with him towards the back.
Weifo is going to look over at Dalar. I will need that poker over there. Could you place it in the fire and get it hot for me?
I just nod and I go and I put it in the fire and get it all warmed up and ready to cauterize.
And with that roll, Weifo is just going to do the thing for him.
Surgical amputation.
Give me one more medicine check with advantage for the actual procedure.
Like I said, I can help him out too with that one if that does anything.
I got a 13. I don't really have very many sharp instruments to chop things off with, so this is going to be the tricky part.
I have a scimitar.
That's
might
not
work.
exactly the best tool.
It might be better than a staff.
That's I'm using a stick of dynamite when what I need is a scalpel.
Hey man, you're gonna get the job done. You just might get a little bit more than the job done.
Exactly. So he may get a free bonus toe removal there.
It was all 5 toes, right?
It was the foot at the ankle, if I recall.
Is the kneecap necessary?
Nah, it's fine. We can go just above it.
That's reminding me. You guys have heard that story of there's a one time some guy performed an amputation that had a 300% mortality rate.
No, I haven't heard that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, let me find it right quick because it is accurately describes what may or may not be going on here.
I recall there was the story of a guy who during the Civil War became so good at amputation that he could do it, I think, in under 30 seconds. And he had an assistant that was holding the guy down, and he was so good he sawed through the leg and the hand of the assistant before the assistant could react.
Yeah, that's sort of a similar thing to what happened to this. So this was Dr. Robert Liston, a Scottish surgeon in the early 1800s. One fateful day, he was amputating a patient's leg at the hip. Things went a little haywire. As the patient squirmed in pain, Liston slipped and sawed off the fingers of one of his assistants. An elderly doctor in attendance was standing close to the operating table. When the knife slipped, it snagged the elderly man's coat. He must have thought the blood was his, or at least his heart did. The man died of a heart attack on the spot. That's only 100% of the 300% here. On this particular day, the surgical knife must have been contaminated with some extra nasty bacteria. In a few short days, the patient's stump and the assistant's hand both became infected and died in a matter of days.
A surgery
So,
with a
a
300%
single-
mortality rate.
Yeah.
One surgery killed 3 plus.
But the doctor was fine,
Yeah.
Of course.
which
The surgeon was
shows
completely
you
fine.
that studying medicine can save lives.
Primarily his own.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, that actually reminds me of Horrible Histories. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that series.
mm-mm.
Have not.
There's one thing, the stupid deaths. They're funny 'cause they're true. Stupid deaths. Hope next time it's not you. It's a Grim Reaper. He sits there and gets entertained by having people throughout history come up and tell him how he died. Or, how they died. And
Funny.
they're ridiculous. Like, one guy was taking a shit in a trench, and the Scottish army had snuck in through that very trench and shoved a pike up his ass.
Oh.
While he was taking a shit. Yeah, ridiculous, stupid deaths like that.
Huh.
One woman was using, white lead for her makeup, and she started getting skin blotches, so she applied more of the makeup and got more skin blotches and applied more of the makeup
Oh my gosh.
and then died of lead poisoning.
You don't say.
Right?
How could this have happened?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's that kind of stuff, and I've watched like 2 or 3 seasons of that show. It's from the BBC, so it's quality shit, and it's mostly about the history of England, obviously, but it deals with the Stuarts, the Tudors, the Georgians, the Celts, Aztecs. So, I mean, it does kind of go a little bit outside of the realm. I mean, there's even a couple, like, famous things in history for the Americans. But it puts history into realistic perspective. So when you're thinking about, the wonderful Victorian era and how cool it was, and hey, guess what? The first fucking public bathroom was in 1887 or some shit like that, or 1837 or whatever. Prior to that, they didn't have them. They had outhouses.
Mm-hmm.
And like, indoor plumbing was not really a thing until the 1800s. Like, late 1800s. Prior to that, people still, like, crapped in a bed chamber, a chamber pot, and would remove it by tossing it out the window and shit. I mean, it's amazing stuff that it was like Rome actually had the most sanitary conditions. And these were people who regularly would go to a feast, eat until they could not eat anymore, stuff a feather down their throat, throw up, go back and continue to feast.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is your real history. You know, the stuff that they won't teach you in school. That's what this show is all about. But anyhow, sorry. I
No
digress.
worries. So, your surgery on this poor patient is successful and not quite as clean as you might have initially hoped.
Well, I am not a doctor.
This is true.
He's not even skilled in medicine. This is just shit he knows.
You do manage to, uh, you know, clean up everything, cauterize everything, and he should recover. Though his foot, it's better than when you found it, but certainly will never be the same again.
Yeah. The other thing that will be important is understanding like how long he needs to rest, if he needs to keep off of the foot, if there's any kind of like herbs that will help speed the recovery, that kind of thing. So if Dalar happens to have like a good nature, that could really, really help.
Well, do you, Dalar?
Nature/survival.
I got good survival, and I mean, I'm technically proficient in nature,
Oh yeah,
but
then you
I've
should
got
totally
I
do
don't.
it.
I've got a +5 in survival and a +2 in nature and a +5 in medicine. So realistically, yeah, I should be able to help in some way or another.
Yeah, pick one and roll on it. Your choice.
Yeah, I was gonna say like survival would probably help you with like creating like a splint or something that would help him to be able to walk sooner.
If it'll
Medicine would
roll.
be important for creating like an
Oh,
herbal remedy or something like that that would help. I'm seeing rolls,
it's not popping up for me at all.
but it's
It,
not popping up. It's not popping up on the list.
I'm not seeing my
Yeah.
dice roll at all. Like I'm clicking it. I want to refresh because I'm clicking it and literally nothing is happening.
Yeah,
it,
I'm watching the die roll, but I'm not seeing anything come up in the chat.
I
yeah.
hit refresh and it's not letting me. It's not liking me coming back in. Let me
I'm gonna
close out.
refresh mine too here, just in
Let me just
case
go back to.
something's being funky.
There we go. Now I can log back in.
Wow, it took it a while.
Yeah, so something happened there with the server.
I think it's
I logged in and I'm still just at a gray screen, like the checkered background thing.
yeah. I think Colin needs to upgrade the server.
Maybe a restart or something. I can't get on. Oh, it loaded finally, but I still don't even see my new rolls. Something's happening with it. It ain't happy about something.
Yeah, let's see.
It needs a Bimbo's update.
works.
All right.
That's a lot better. Alright. Let me reopen the stuff I had open on here. That and okay.
And I will be able to assist with any of the roles that you're doing.
Yes,
But it'll be up to the GM as to what his opinion is. But like I said, my assumption would be like survival would be more for having something that he would still be able to move about and function without harming himself. Nature would be these herbs would definitely help and benefit, and medicine would be this is how you can combine them to keep yourself healthy. Yeah, that kind of thing.
mostly just to not have to sit around on this one part for too long. But with your survival roll and previous medicine checks, you get him set up with a regimen that should help it heal nicely. As to whether or not he'll actually follow it, who knows?
Well, I am going to use this roll to see if I can tell from our previous conversation how he might go about.
It's hard to say for sure. I mean, the one thing that you do, that does come to your mind is that he wasn't particularly concerned when it was super bad. It's hard to tell for sure if he's had a change of heart as for caring for himself.
Yeah. In that case, Wayfo is going to look at him very sincerely as Wayfo can be, and say, you do understand that if you do not follow this regiment, the next time I visit, I will have to remove the foot.
Give me a persuasion or an intimidation, whichever one you're going for.
It was a 20. We all saw it. It hopped.
It hopped at the last second.
Yeah,
Die.
you and your doctors are all the same, just wanting to see me more, get more money out of me, cut more parts off of me. I'll be fine.
I have not asked for any money.
I look around. Wait, were we gonna get paid for this? I wasn't aware of that.
Well, I wasn't planning on paying you this time, but maybe you came back next time asking for money to do something else. Wouldn't be
Well,
the
don't
first
give
time
us
I
a
had
reason to come back and do something else. You take
Perhaps-
care of yourself, then we don't have to do anything else.
Perhaps he wishes to continue to neglect himself in order to have us to visit.
Maybe he's lonely. He just needs some company. That's the only way he can do it.
If you would prefer company over your leg, we would be happy to stop by whenever.
Oh, no. I got plenty of business to attend to.
Well, if you do not take care of your foot now, you will be doing it with only one leg. Besides, winter is coming. It is getting colder.
Winter's been here.
Oh no.
Well,
I believe it will be getting far worse soon. And with that, Wayfo is going to give a glance over at Dalar to maybe have him help. With well, I mean, it really doesn't matter unless Dalar's got like intimidation or persuasion.
I got a 0 on charisma. I got a 11 on
I
charisma.
have
So I got a +0. I got nothing
yeah,
bonuses
I
to
got
anything.
0 on both of them.
I have no
So
bonuses to any charismatic
so
rolls.
maybe help me with the intimidation aspect.
I'll just look angry and nod.
So you're going to assist.
Yeah, I'll assist with that.
Because, yeah, Wayfo is basically going to be like, it was the toe this time. Next, it's going to be the foot. Then the shin. Then the leg.
Oh my gosh. You don't want it to be the leg.
Let's see.
Just roll advantage on a nat 20.
I did say that I was doing it with assistance. You have to make that roll.
Even though it physically can't get better and it's taking the best roll.
Yep.
Technicality standpoint, rules is written. Must roll the advantage even if it doesn't add anything.
Yep. Because technically you're rolling both of the die at the same time.
I mean, technically.
Yeah. And besides, one of these days, I'm getting a double 20.
These super
And
net
I
20.
and I want the GM to just be like, well, fuck. This is an auspicious an auspicious occasion. Something special has to happen.
That is true. You can't get 2 nat 20s if you don't roll 2 die.
That's right.
2 dice.
So, at this point, with a mixture of fear and anger on his face, he basically grabs his bottle of spirits and storms out of the room to find a chair to sit on, prop his leg up. Don't want any
through to him.
don't want any more of your doctor stuff. Handle it on my own.
Of course
It's
not.
scary.
And Waypo stands behind the bar for him.
I want to go sit down at the table. Probably 1 for us helping the town.
Yeah, so basically, anybody needs drinks, Waypo's going to get them. If he doesn't know what the drink is, he's just going to ask the bartender how to make it, and basically do as he says. He's not asking if the guy needs help. He's just doing because he knows this is necessary.
He knows the guy needs
He's-
help, even if he doesn't ask for it.
As you're trying to help, he's sitting there beside. He's like, "The bottles are within my reach. I can do this."
Very well. Can I assist in delivering them? Or taking the orders?
I got ears. I can hear the orders just fine. Didn't amputate those.
No, not yet.
You better not be. They still work perfectly fine.
I don't know. I was just thinking if we gave them a little bob on the sides, you'd kind of look elven. And Waypo, even though his face does not really do it very well, he's going to kind of give him a slight smile.
Hear the wood break a little bit as he smiles. Stays bending in that direction.
He glares at you just a little bit as you do so.
Kidding.
As this is all going on, three stocky figures bundled in cold weather garb stumble towards you. Got snowshoes slung over their shoulders, ice picks fastened to their belts, and two of them have rather thick beards. Third holds up a gloved hand and says through a thick woolly scarf in a raspy voice, "Well met. I'm Heruna, and these are my friends, Crux and Storn. We need help, and you look capable," as he looks at, especially at Weifo, covered in blood spatter from the amputation.
I am actually mostly capable.
Oh.
And I do like to help.
Only mostly capable. Guys, is that going to cut it for what we need?
No.
It-
So
it
after hearing
depends-
that, well, you
it
guys
depends
clearly
on
are
what you
fully
need.
capable yourselves.
And Wayfo's just going to be like, it just depends on what you need. Like, if you need someone to lie for you, I'm afraid I am not very good at that.
I could cover that.
It's true. Dalar is an excellent liar.
Exactly.
Ask him how many women he's been with.
Oh, you'll never guess.
How many women have you been with?
2,372.
Roll deception.
Yeah, that's pulling up. Dang it. I was so close to a 20.
Uh-huh.
He still needs a little work too, but he's a better liar than I am.
Well, I hope you don't need to lie much.
We did seem mostly capable.
Anyway, we'll see if maybe you're capable enough to do what we need. We're the survivors of a group of dwarves that were tasked with delivering a sled of iron ingots to Bryn Shander. A Yeti surprised us and killed a member of our group. And the rest of us fled as the Yeti tore Ubak limb from limb. Now we need someone to go back and get the sled for us. As payment, well, I'll offer each of you a gemstone worth 50 gold pieces or so. The friendship
That
of the
sounds
dwarves can
reasonable.
also be the friendship of the dwarves of Icewind Dale can also be a boon in these harsh times.
Where did you guys find and encounter this Yeti at?
Oh, it's north of town, a ways.
Well, you happen to be in luck. Out of everyone here in Bryn Shander, I believe you have actually stumbled across one of the only people who can actually speak Yeti.
I raise my hand. Guilty as charged.
If we cannot reason with the Yeti, we will get it by other means.
Oh,
I'll give a nod to that.
any means necessary. Just want the iron recovered.
And we want friends. We accept.
And money.
Yes, and money.
Friends don't hurt, but money helps a lot too.
Hey, at
And
least
gems
you're
are
honest about
probably-
something.
And gems are probably one of the best forms of money that there is.
Joke's on you, I hate money, I only want friends.
Fine. We will
Now-
not. We will not be paying you. We will just pay the rest of your group.
That was
Now-
a double lie.
Now all of us will come and visit each and every one of your families and have a pleasant evening with dinner and drinks. And there must be some frivolity,
Not too much frivolity.
but just enough. I could see somebody like, I accept friendship as payment, and then it's like, oh god, what did I just do?
This friendship cost me hundreds of thousands of gold over my lifetime. What did I do?
Right?
He just shows up unannounced in parties.
Like, son of a bitch.
I should have just paid him.
He keeps bringing the cheap wine too every night.
So this is what they mean when I pay people an exposure. They expose themselves to me every night.
So,
So yeah, we will, in all seriousness, tell the dwarves that we will gladly accept, and with direction from them, we will do our very best to retrieve their sled. Were there dogs hauling it?
let's see. That is a good question. Should have that answer somewhere here.
I always had the good questions. Like, do Warforged have decks?
Could always build one if you don't.
Right, but then if he has one built, when it's attached, does he feel anything from it?
I don't know. Do you feel anything to begin with?
Right? I mean,
I think that's the bigger question. Do you feel your skin, quote unquote, skin to begin with?
if you can take damage, I'm assuming you can feel that you're taking damage. Otherwise,
But
you'd
do
be
you
like one of those kids that, you have to like safeguard because they can just like do
They don't feel
horrible
pain.
damage. Right. You can do horrible damage to yourself because you don't feel anything.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe Warforged don't feel pain. They can just feel like themselves get smacked and be like, oh, that's damage.
Right. And
I mean, maybe it's one of those they don't feel pain, but it's like you can tell, oh, my body has been destroyed a little bit.
right. But if they do feel stuff, and then if they've got a dick and they can feel something from that, do they just not get horny until you get the dick attachment? And if so, is it like a swap out part? Like, can they just pull out the middle, the lower middle section there, and they just, okay, here's the dick part, or they pull it out and they like, here's the veg part? Do the same thing with the chest plate, and it's like all of a sudden your Warforged goes from a dude to a chick. I have so many questions.
So is your Warforged just like a transvestite or something?
We don't know. These are the questions that I have. I know nothing about the Warforged. I mean, is it possible that he could have chick boobs and still have a dick?
Maybe you're omnisexual. You're just every sex at the same time.
This could also be a possibility.
Hey, man, you gotta have something to aspire to be.
Or maybe the Warforged are just asexual.
It's very possible, too.
I think those are...
LGBTQW rights.
There is actually... some of those questions are actually answered in the officially written lore.
Of course they are. I love it.
Go to horny jail. What says?
Yeah, they are, a combination of, mechanical and a blend of organic and inorganic materials. But let's see, down here, a typical Warforged has a sexless body shape. Some Warforged ignore the concept of gender entirely, while others adopt a gender identity.
There you go. Cool.
So it is
They're
entirely up to
basically-
you.
So I guess the default is asexual and genderless, unless you want to have a gender, but you don't have to.
Yeah, and
That's essentially what the default is.
I think the important thing that we need to take away from this is that a Warforged can be pretty much anything that they want to be. except non-binary.
Non-binary just goes right back to what they are to begin with.
Well, no, I mean, you got to think it out to its logical conclusion. If you declare yourself to be non-binary, then what do you have? You have people who are non-binary, and you have people who are binary. Which means you're now part of a binary system.
Well, yeah, when you look at it that way.
Right. You cannot be non-binary.
I tried telling that to some people.
You can, however, be trinary, where you'll just try pretty much whatever you want. It's like being trisexual. Try anything once.
I thought it was gonna be like I only participate in 3 ways.
Well, I mean, you could have that too. That would work.
Anyway, I don't see anything about the dogs I thought I had seen at one point, so we'll say
Jacob
that they...
missed the whole conversation.
What?
You missed it.
Man, yep.
It was a good conversation.
And it was you had to be there.
Yeah.
That makes good sense. That checks out. Well, I miss a lot when I'm up in the air. I wish I had Wi-Fi on my plane, because then I could have been tuning in like the whole time. So I've just been fucking empty flying back from fucking Albuquerque, just staring at my goddamn iPad, but no internet. So, yep, it's been a great time. Oh,
Lots of fun.
yeah, seriously. I've been in the plane for 8 hours and 40 minutes today. So.
Oh, jeez.
Well,
Those days.
Yeah.
so you're bragging aside that you've just been flying around all day. We have had a really cool moment here in the game.
Okay.
Wayfo got to become a doctor temporarily.
He was a surgeon.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Well,
did he pull it off?
Wayfo was like, we're here in Bryn Shander, and it was like, go to the tavern where, the barkeep, I have that agreement with him where I kind of do the bounce work and shit.
Yeah.
And asked him, hey, where's your jobs board and everything? And he's like, well, it depends on what kind of work you're looking for. And he's like, yes. And dude's like, so you just want to do anything? He's like, yes. He's like, well, I got this really nasty sore on my foot, being a smartass, and he throws his foot up on the bar, and Wayfo takes one look at it, rolls a nat fucking 20,
Oh
and
shit.
goes, that should have been amputated a week ago.
Oh no.
And so, literally, took the guy in the back, amputates his toe, and cauterizes the wound, and then fixes a couple other spots, and yeah.
Oh shit.
And do you know what his medicine skill is?
What?
+2.
Hey.
He is not skilled in it at all.
At
It
all.
is just default off of his fucking wisdom.
There you go.
Yeah.
Something about being a striking dummy at the temples all those years. Just saw enough broken fingers and stuff.
Well,
maybe.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole thing is that he was a training dummy, but he was just outside of the classroom. So he just
there you
picked
go.
up on all sorts of shit.
There you go. That makes sense.
And now we are about to embark on a wonderful adventure that was requested by a group of dwarves that just came in. Because a Yeti just north of town decided to rip one of their friends limb from limb.
Oh no.
And they need somebody to go up there and deal with the Yeti and retrieve their sled full of iron freaking ingots that they were bringing in.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
Like,
All right,
iron ingots,
so-
that's pretty damn important.
Yeah. That's gonna be a heck of a haul. That's for sure. So the Yeti, the job is to dispense or dispose of the Yeti.
I
The
don't think he
the
said about
primary
actually
focus.
doing anything to the Yeti. It was just getting the iron ingots is the main job.
Yeah,
Okay.
the primary focus is getting the iron sled, the sled full of iron ingots, in any way possible,
Okay. All
by
right.
hook or by crook.
Yeah. Alrighty. Guess we're gonna have to see what we can manage here. If it requires any more climbing, then I might need to sit this one out. I don't know.
No,
Well,
it's
I
fine.
mean-
We lived.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we
Wayfo is currently splattered in toe blood, so you
So
know
we're
he's ready to fucking throw down.
yeah. Well, it might be more beneficial to clean the blood off, so maybe the Yeti doesn't smell it. But I don't know.
Hey, I'm gonna try to use that for an advantage intimidation.
There you go.
This is
Well-
the remains of my last victim, Yeti.
Yep. See what you got coming to you, boy.
I'm about to replace his blood with yours.
Yeah. I actually have a medical condition that requires fresh coats of blood every 24 hours. So get ready, motherfucker.
And all
No.
I see is you.
No, I think the most terrifying thing that Wayfo could actually say is in his typical Wayfo fashion after looking at the Yeti. Huh. I've never worn a Yeti suit before.
Yeah, that's pretty
It's
interesting.
warm.
That's about as mechanical Dexter as you can possibly fucking get.
Yeah, pretty
Mhm.
much. Pretty much. All right. Well, did we retrieve the sled that we once bought yet, or is that still somewhere missing?
I'm pretty sure that we got that because I used it, I think, at one point.
Yeah. We'll say
To
you
go
got it
help
with
some-
you. You rode it over to town.
There we go.
Yeah, because you guys had it when you went to the mountain to climb
yeah.
it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we'll say you guys rode it over to Bryn Shander and have it with you.
So
Okay,
we'll
so-
probably take that out just in case their sled's damaged and what have you.
Yeah, that's what I'm
And if
thinking.
it's,
Just so
and
we
if
have
it's
extra.
not, yeah, we hook up the dogs to the iron ingot sled, and then we put our sled right behind it as an empty.
Makes sense to me.
Sounds good to me.
All
Oh,
right.
I hope the conversation I missed wasn't too much at my expense, but I'm
It
ready
was
to press on
actually-
if you guys are.
It was actually all about the sexuality of Warforged.
Yes.
Ah, I'm. That's okay. I don't need a recap. It's all good.
Are you sure? Because I actually, as a biped, I actually learned some shit.
Oh.
Like, there's detachable parts and stuff.
Oh no.
Oh.
Like, all we need is a gnome who can think along the lines of a Dremel tool. And I'm telling you what,
We'll get some work done.
he's got a new gig in town.
Oh god.
Just pleasuring the ladies.
Oh gosh.
Well, if we come across one, then I'll definitely be looking forward to the
Turn yourself into a
conversation we
prostitute.
have with that guy.
Exactly. All right,
Warforged,
so
like Whoreforged.
I was waiting for
Okay,
that.
that was
That's perfect.
pretty good. That was
That's
pretty good.
beautiful. Yeah, he even won up to a fucking dad joke I did earlier. It was great.
Yeah, he thinks he can best me in him. I'm pretty good at them. Bad humor. I got a knack for that.
All right.
So we're gonna head north
Let's do it.
and we're gonna go look for some Yeti biscuits.
All right.
Yeti biscuits.
So you guys head out in the direction I described, out into the wilderness. It's a pretty familiar direction. They basically point you straight towards Kelvin's Cairn, the mountain that you climbed previously.
Of course.
Though they say they weren't on the mountain, they were coming from the valley in front of it.
Okay.
Would definitely be the same family, though. Just saying.
Well, and they did say that, as well as payment, that this would go a long ways towards us getting, friendly with the dwarves.
Benefits.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Wait, friendly how?
friends with dwarven benefits.
Oh,
Exactly.
are we talking about the sexuality thing again? Is that what we're circling around to?
Well, no, at this point, I think we're talking more Dalar's sexuality.
My.
What? Oh no.
A drink a sexual.
A drink
Yeah.
is sexual.
That's right.
Yep.
What is
And-
your sex? Alcohol.
I believe the
Yeah.
professionals call it an alcoholic these days, actually.
Yes, but we prefer the common term lush.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, so we're going up there to proposition a Yeti.
Yeah, so as you are traveling along, a blizzard descends on you, reducing visibility to a mere 20 feet. Kelvin's Cairn vanishes from view as the blowing snow and howling wind engulf you.
Survival. I will assist.
Wow. Oh my god. I can't roll tonight, apparently.
We need
Why?
to protect us and the doggies.
Hey, there we go. I got this. I'll keep steering the sled, keeping us safe the best I can with the low visibility.
No, I think it's more like swing off to the side of the road, flip the sled over on its side, pull a
Hunker
tarp
down.
across, and create a lean-to for us and the pooches.
Yeah, if that's the route you want to take, you are certainly welcome to.
Yeah, we can do that. I can find us a good spot.
Because trying to push through that kind of weather can lead to, extreme conditions like death.
That's a fair point.
Issues. Yep.
And if there's anything that Wayfo can do to help out, we'd be happy to do so.
No, I think Dalar pretty well has it covered. He orders everyone around, and you guys got a camp set up in about 15 minutes or so. That will keep you safe.
Nice.
About 4 hours pass, and the blizzard begins to let up, and visibility increases greatly once again. You manage to weather it rather comfortably, at least as comfortably as one can, in your makeshift lean-to.
Very well done, Dalar.
Nod. Well then, shall we get back to it?
Indeed. And Wayfo will help to get everything reassembled, get the dogs set up, etc.
Alright. You re-hitch up the dogs and depart once again. After traveling a ways further, nightfall quickly approaching, you crest a snow-covered ridge and see a frozen, dismembered corpse in the gully in front of you. Snow covers some of the gory bits, but the headless torso and severed limbs are clearly visible. You see tracks in the snow all around the corpse and the telltale grooves in the snow left behind by a sled that has been hauled away.
I believe that would be the remains of our dearly departed dwarf.
Why would a Yeti be stealing iron ingots, though, and not the dwarf?
Perhaps he thought that it was a sled full of food.
Perhaps.
Although,
I would-
it would be odd that he would leave the body.
Precisely.
I would
Even if a
Speaking
dwarf
of
is
which-
small, that is still food for him.
Yeah, and speaking of, Wayfo is going to start collecting the frozen bits and place them underneath the tarp and secure them.
Okay. Dalar, can you give me a survival check as well?
Oh boy.
Whoa!
Oh, I survived.
Look at that shit. He's just whipping it out now.
You notice that all the tracks that are around Ubak's body are made from maybe a half dozen or so small humanoids. Not a yeti.
Hey, Wayfo. These aren't Yeti tracks. These are people tracks. A lot of people. You got half dozen at least. Are there any Yeti tracks at all, or is it all just small humanoids?
You do not see any yeti tracks.
Yeah, none of these are Yeti tracks.
Then we should follow them carefully.
Yes.
I would like to compare the tracks in the snow with my own foot size for an idea of what we're dealing with.
I would like to know Biltram's shoe size for reference.
It's extra small. Whatever the
Okay.
triple X small is, it's probably it.
Triple X small. All right.
And Wayfo's is more human size.
Yeah, they are somewhere in between Biltram and Wayfo's foot sizes.
Yeah, since mine would be
This
bigger
is-
than average.
Quite interesting. It would seem that these are not so exactly regular sized. Maybe perhaps even other dwarves.
That is
Where's
precisely what I'm
where's
thinking.
the dwarf's foot? We could take his foot and see how big it is compared to those those
that's a
tracks.
good point.
That's an idea.
Wayfo
Just pull out
goes
the foot
and
limb and
picks
just
up the
put
leg.
it in, and just stick it on the ground. See if it fits.
Shunk.
Does it fit?
Is it approximately the same size?
Not quite, but it's close.
Yeah, so it's pretty close.
So
It's possible they're dwarves.
Instead of a yeti, it is quite a preponderance. Maybe we are dealing with another group of foraging dwarves that needed this resource for their own toils. That would make sense to me.
So, the question now is, either A, they lied to us, B, this is a trap.
Yes, that would seem to be the two options. Well, out of character, was I there for the conversation when we got this quest?
I
Yeah,
assume so.
yeah, you would have been there.
Okay. Do I remember them saying anything specifically? Like we saw him get attacked by it. Like, did they tell us that they were there when they got attacked by a yeti and they fled? Or
Yes, that they were the last they were the surviving members.
They saw their comrade get torn limb from limb.
Yeah.
That's how they
Okay.
described it.
well, they may have only been partially falsifying the truth. Perhaps they did see him torn limb from limb, but it was by a group of warring brethren that maybe they were not equipped to deal with at the time.
Well, he was definitely torn limb from limb. Dalar,
Indeed.
are there any Yeti footprints by chance?
I don't think there are, right? There's no Yeti footprints anywhere. what
You
said.
did not find any yeti footprints.
I don't see any at all, and unless they were to cover them up or walk over them specifically, which there should still be some remnants if they did that. I don't see any.
Well, then we should check these limbs out.
Make sure they're actually torn and not cut.
Indeed.
I would
Pick the
I would
leg up that
assume-
way you put in the snow to check the foot size.
I would assume that it would be quite the difference. Yeti claws versus
Yes.
axes
Or just being-
and balls.
Yeah, or just being, straight up ripped in half. Like, the intestines and all that'd be kind of floating everywhere. It'd be tears rather than a nice clean cut.
Yeah, give me a medicine check, whoever would like to.
I don't remember what my bonus is, and I don't have my sheet in front of me right now.
I can roll on your behalf.
Dr. Wayfo,
I was about to say, maybe we should just go with Way seems to be the lucky doctor. I don't know.
His
I
roll
got
is
the
actually the
+5
worst
though.
of the group.
Yeah, I got a +5 in medicine, so
Oh,
Mhm.
there you go.
Yeah, yeah.
even
we're
though my
fine with
wisdom's
Taylor.
not too hot, I'm proficient and I have some wisdom, so
Mhm.
Well, then what the hell was I the one doing the operation for?
I didn't want to do it.
Yeah, you were the one who said you'd do any job, right?
Yeah, that's literally why I did it. I was like, you said you do any
Man.
job, I don't want to do it. I'll
Yeah.
help. I'm the assistant. I don't want to be the surgeon.
You fucking rat bastard.
I was aware of that the whole time. I just didn't want to.
He's like, I wanted to study Weifo's technique. I wanted to see how an amateur would handle this situation. Found it fascinating. He was actually quite capable.
He's better than professionals I've seen in his parts.
Yeah, but most of the professionals are also the barbers and dentists.
What's your point?
It's terrifying. That's my point.
Well, Dalar, with all of your medicinal prowess, what can you tell us about the remains?
All right. Well, what do I see, Mr. DM? Looking at some of the limbs.
It's hard to say for sure because he's been dead about a day and been frozen and thrown about a bit. But the cuts don't appear, or not the cuts, the where the limbs have been separated don't appear super clean.
So it doesn't look like it might be a bladed weapon or anything like that. It doesn't
Right,
strike
or
that.
if not a very good one at the very least.
They look like they were hacked, not torn.
Well, they're not super clean, but they don't look like they were straight ripped limb from limb. It would be a lot messier if that was the case, but it's not like it was a clean cut from a blade. Possibly
Well,
a dull blade.
I should say that if they were not using swords, it might be a bit less clean. A hatchet or a war axe is not the finest of sharpness. You know, meant to divide and sever. So maybe not precision cuts, but I should still say the lack of tracks and the presence of a corpse is rather a fine indicator. I would say that maybe a yeti at least is not the perpetrator this time.
Right, I can't... No, my knowledge of Yetis... A Yeti would have taken the food, as they know that the iron isn't going to be edible for them.
However, it is possible that the dwarves are still telling the truth.
Yes, indeed. It could be that a yeti executed this fine young fellow, and someone else happened upon the cart of iron and then decided to liberate it from the frozen tundra. That is entirely possible.
No, I believe our friend Dalar, he is very good at being able to live out here in the wilderness, and footprints are definitely his forte. And if he says that he sees no Yeti path here, I believe him. However, that does not mean that the dwarves did not see a Yeti.
Do you see where your head is at? It could have been an illusion, but I would also remind you that it has been a day since he died, and we did trek through a blizzard on the way here, and some tracks might have been lost to time at this point, given the weather conditions. However, I do agree that maybe the visage of a yeti was present at the original incident.
Yes, my point is that perhaps they are still telling the truth one way or the other, and we should be on our guard with where we're headed next.
Indeed, yes. I should say that a wise forethought and at least, the knowledge that we should not be only exclusively looking for a yeti and that we should be cautious of other individuals such as ourselves is a good idea.
So there's also the chance that perhaps that he was torn by a Yeti just down the road, and maybe his parts were taken by the other humanoids down a ways. This might not be the initial attack site either. It might be odd, but it's entirely possible.
Indeed.
I should say,
Weather creatures could have brought this down the path quite a ways. The original attack site could have been down a ways, and there might be Yeti tracks further on.
Well,
This is just where I found them.
yeah, either way, Waypo thinks it is time for us to follow these tracks and see what's what.
That
But
makes sense to me.
do
That's the only
so
thing to do.
quietly
Step.
and cautiously.
All
Like
right.
telling me stealth.
Waypo's actually got a weapon out.
Oh,
so Biltram sees that he has his weapon out and starts remembering that he has a short sword and tries to like grab it out.
All
Or
right.
maybe I don't have a short sword yet. I think I just have the proficiency. Quarterstaff! I pull out my quarterstaff. There we go.
I pull out my 3/4 staff. Haha!
so if you can attach a dick, could you attach a quarterstaff there?
Well,
Or
yeah,
at least there's
but
another one. Have three
but-
of them literally swinging around.
I would have to tell everybody it's a half staff.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Makes sense.
yeah, because
That
I
shit
want to
checks
impress
out.
I want to impress the ladies. So
You should see my real staff that I keep.
Yeah.
this is my half staff. Nah, that just looks like a quarter staff to me. Hey,
Hey.
I've been told by plenty of people it's a half staff at least.
In my defense, I lost my main staff in a bet in Waterdeep. So
My full staff's in the shop right now.
I've got a dwarf working on something that you wouldn't believe.
all right,
Let's just say
onward.
I'm good at woodworking.
God. Fucking- oh my God. Splinters.
I'm
So
the
you
man of
guys
steel.
begin following the tracks south.
Interesting.
And you follow it for about 45 minutes or so before you come across something. The creatures you've been following appear to be goblins based on their stature as you see them. All 6 of them groan, grunt, and curse loudly as they haul the bulky sled towards what appears to be a 20-foot tall wagon packed in the snow. Harnessed to it is the conveyance of 2 large, roaring polar bears that don't look happy.
This seems to be quite the predicament.
Ooh, that's cool. Those definitely are unhappy polar bears. I'll give you that.
Quite.
Those fucking Jawa.
All right. Do I? I've been told never to go full retard, but I'm debating it.
He's just gonna go try and talk to him. Oh no! Oh
I'm gonna use
no!
disguise myself and talk to one as a goblin.
Oh no! Not like these. Not like these.
Actually, which one of you has the best stealth?
I think mine's just a +2.
Definitely not me, dude. My dex is like -1. So
My dex is +2, so it's just a +2.
Okay, so Waypo is
What?
going to mention to Dalar.
I could probably shapeshift into something with better stealth. I would just have to figure out what it is.
Yeah, maybe something with really, really, really sharp teeth.
What?
Because, the leather harnesses that are holding those polar bears on.
I could turn into a winter wolf, a young winter wolf. That's a +4 to stealth.
No.
You don't think so?
No, I'm thinking something like snow squirrel.
Something real tiny.
Something very tiny, something unobtrusive, something really fucking hard to hit. Something that would not be considered any kind of a threat or treat for the polar bears. That could sneak up there and nibble on those leather straps until they're close to ready to break.
All right, what?
And then allow nature to take its course.
All right, I'm doing a nature roll to try and to figure out what the best animal for that would be, given this climate and where we're at in Icewind Dale. Well, what kind of creature would best fit that description?
Let's find out.
Ah, it would be a silver dragon, of course.
A dragon would cause enough carnage that the bears would probably go crazy. They just go ape shit.
Or it could be the best shape would be a Dalar.
It's a wild Dalar approaching. I just take my clothes off and I'm like, I'm shapeshifted into the Dalar.
It's super effective.
They don't know what to do.
They're stunned.
No. Oh, I could turn into an actual bear and I could be like, I'm gonna set you guys free.
Oh, fuck
Because
yeah.
I could communicate with them. I gotta turn into a polar bear. I could talk to them.
Yeah, and then you could use your claws to slash through the leather pretty easily.
Yeah.
That would
That would
totally
work.
do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna turn into a polar bear and I want to approach up and tell them, I'm gonna get you guys out of here. I want to break you free. See, I'm gonna do that.
All right. Let's see.
Turn into my trusty polar bear. That is my staple at this point. I feel like.
And while he's doing that, I guess I'm going to stealth up behind the caravan and walk behind it at the ready. Time for us to play the Mission Impossible music.
What is that?
Dun, 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 dun,
Don't worry about it.
dun, dun, dun,
Worrying.
dun, 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 doo-doo-doo.
This place looks oddly familiar. I can't put my finger on it. Something about this map.
Okay, so where is their wagon?
It is down here where these polar bears are.
Okay. Are all of those guys in the back there, are they just like walking behind?
These six
Or
They're
are
still
they,
pulling the sled,
or are
aren't
they in the wagon?
these six back here are the ones that are pulling the sled of iron. The
they're
wagon
still
is
pulling it to the
separately
wagon.
down here.
Gotcha. Okay, so these are basically the bitch boys. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in that case, I guess we'll wait for Dalar to do the thing with the polar bears, and I will try to get a good position close to where the goblins are.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and blend in with the snow and kind of scooch around my polar bear self.
Oh yeah. I'm sneaking, guys. Hey, yo. Hey, do any of you guys speak English? Yo, what's up? What's up, boy?
Can you even see me?
Yeah. I'm hiding right now, you know, from those guys up there at the caravan. What's up?
Fuck those guys.
So yeah, no, Wapo's going to be trying to get hiding underneath the trees, that kind of thing.
All
Probably
right.
gets a pile of snow dumped on top of him.
Yeah. Snow falling on you, ice cracking beneath you. Not exactly subtle, but people don't seem to be taking much notice.
Goblins aren't people.
In that case, I'm going to try for an absolute balls maneuver. And I'm going to try to get up onto the sled that they're hauling.
Hey guys, I'm gonna drop off for just a second. I'm just switching to my computer because I'm home now, so I won't be there. I have been listening. I know
Awesome,
where
man.
we're at, so I'll be right back.
Okay.
All right, while he's doing that, I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick then.
Okay.
Poor Wayfo. He cannot, like, catch a break right now. He's
Nope.
like, hey, this is really slow. Can you guys slow down? I can't get on top of this thing. I'll be right back. I'm going to grab some water real quick.
Okay.
Correct.
Alright, I am back.
No worries.
Alrighty.
Perfect timing.
Alright. I think Scott's here still. I'm calling.
I think
Yeah, he can go back.
Scott dropped away for just a moment. Get a drink.
While he's gone, I have no adult supervision. I'm gonna start my Cthulhu summoning
Nothing
ritual.
prevent. Oh, now, Timmy, you shouldn't dabble in the dark arts. Put that Necronomicon away.
That's great.
Didn't your parents ever teach you not to sacrifice by yourself?
Yeah, they did.
All right, scamp. Let's not do that again, okay?
Okay. I'll remember to make sure there's more people next time.
Yeah. So yeah, for this situation, I have been listening, and yeah, I'm just gonna stay where I'm at, far enough away that I'm not gonna be like making the scene and becoming noticeable, just because most of my stuff is ranged anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
but try as best I can to not have to rely on my stealth skills. So,
Stay far enough away so you don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
yep, like my only option.
Alright, once Scott gets back, things are going to get interesting.
Oh, good. I'm gonna start doing shots now.
Shot. Hey man, I still got rum from last Christmas down here.
Nice.
I've been just waiting for eggnog season to pick up again.
Gotta put it to good use.
That's literally what I used it last year for. I'll do it again.
Yep, Brandon, you are certainly a sensible drinker. I wish I was more like you.
It's called I barely drink in general.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It is a lot cheaper.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. I was like, I don't want to spend this much money on alcohol.
Yep.
It's like I really enjoy stuff like mics and all that, but it's like Angry Orchards, Mike's, Reds are good occasionally, like ciders and all that. Really light beers that some people don't even consider beer. It might not be technically beer.
Right.
I like that. But it's like, oh, it's $10 for a 6-pack. I don't want to spend that.
Yeah. Yeah, I get you.
Granted, that's part of the reason why I never like tried smoking either. There was a time where I was curious about it back in college, but I was like, I don't want to spend this much money on it. I'll pass.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
for
literally
real.
like, I just don't want to spend money on it. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly the way
Being
it should
cheap
be.
and protecting yourself from addiction through it is
Yeah.
not a bad thing.
Like, at least when I spend exorbitant amounts of money, it's not killing me.
Yep.
So
It's
there's
like
that
never-
plus that.
Whenever you get too much expendable income, that's when you're like, yeah, I'll go buy a fucking handle of vodka. Sure. Why
Yeah, I'll get an 8-ball of cocaine. What'll it hurt?
not?
I can afford that shit.
I want to hire a hitman, see if I can survive it on myself.
That's right.
I like the
Yeah.
challenge.
Your job is just to kill me at some point between now and New Year's. Good luck.
If you kill me, you won't get paid, but you can have whatever you find. If I kill you, you're still not going to get paid because you're dead. So,
And I get whatever I find.
yeah. But I will.
Joke's on you. I've got a pocket full of debt.
Yeah. I will-
Joke's
I will-
on you. If you kill me, you get all the debt.
Yeah. Guys, like,
All I do is
well,
carry promissory notes on me.
Guys, like, well, then what's the point, man? Well, the point is, if I kill you, I will have proved myself a very hard target, and I will buy you a fancy grave.
Well, you see, if I kill you, people will hire me as a hitman.
Right?
And I'll figure out, I'll fix my debt that way. And if I die, well, then it's not my issue anymore.
I feel like this conversation has been had somewhere on the dark web before.
I feel like
I'm pretty sure it has.
it has to have been.
And it's just some kid like trolling someone who claims to be a hitman, and then like halfway through the conversation, the hitman just posts their IP address, and then they just log off.
Probably. Sounds about right.
Yep.
The kid realizes, wait, I'm an idiot.
I done fucked up, Aaron.
Hey, Ron.
Okay,
Right.
so Wayfo is having a really rough time trying to climb up onto the back of this sled, and that's just not working.
Oh, good.
So,
I'm gonna approach the bears in front of the wagon.
Yeah, so
Hello!
so as all this is happening, we've got Wayfo climbing on the sled, Dalar, Dalar approaching the wagon and the polar bears. Dalar, as you're approaching, a goblin pops out the top of the wagon, looks around, sees a third polar bear. He's like, lucky day. Found another polar bear, huh? You two, go capture it.
I'm gonna rush to the polar bear and start breaking them free. I'm gonna get you guys out of there!
Alright.
Alright, so should I,
Make an attack roll.
I'm gonna start by clawing. Oh, I'm not targeting the polar bear, but I gotta target something.
we need to make the polar bears have a Scottish accent, and for him to come running up going, "Freedom!"
Attacking the straps to get them free.
Alright, let's see. 17. Yeah, the 17, I think, that'll hit. And 13 damage. One of the polar bears is broken free. The other is still strapped in just barely.
Because I have multi-attack, can I bite the other one right now before anything else can react?
Yeah, since you've got multi-attack, why not?
Yeah. I can bite and claw each turn, technically.
Yeah, hit that twofer.
Oh, is this? Okay, there we go. Oh God.
Oh, broken tooth.
Ah!
Yep. Maybe not a
Hey.
twofer.
Hit that metal piece. Oh, ow.
You miss and bite the polar bear.
I'm sorry.
You hear back in polar bear, "What are you doing?"
I'm not a very good polar bear. Let me try again.
Your technique is bad. You should feel bad.
Except the guy who's been captured.
All right, we will. Before you get another turn, we will jump back over to Wayfo as he's trying to crawl onto the sled. The
Yes.
goblins, after significant amounts of attempt by Wayfo, finally notice.
Yeah, I'm basically like holding on to a strap right now, kind of getting dragged along,
Oh my.
like still trying to get a leg up onto the sled.
One of them looks at Wayfo and looks forward and back at Wayfo and then forward and taps his buddy on the shoulder.
And Wayfo is going to look at him and just wave, "Hello."
He wasn't part of the shipment, was he? Hey, hold on, everyone. They all stop and turn around and look at Wayfo.
Wayfo's going to get up and dust off some of the snow. Thank you for stopping.
Where'd you come from? You're not an
over
iron
there.
ingot.
There are parts of me that are made of iron.
Oh, is that so? Well, I think the boss might want you then.
Oh, I'm much more valuable in one piece. I
Quick,
can
get on the
assure you
sled and
that.
just pretend like you belong there.
Have you never seen a Warforged before?
A what forged?
I'm going to walk up to one of the goblins and extend my arm. Feel.
One of them reluctantly reaches out and touches you.
I am made of metal, yet I am alive.
The one that reached out to touch of you jumps back and shouts, "It's a demon! Get it! Kill the demon!" And at the same time, the goblin boss up on the wagon is looking down at the polar bear releasing his other polar bears, or attacking them, and is confused and about to deal with that situation. I need everyone to roll initiative.
Okay, hold on for just one sec.
Yeah.
Can I at least say one thing to his reaction of demon?
Sure.
Wayfo is going to look at him and go, yes, I am a demon. You should run and flee in terror.
I'll be right back.
Oh my god! Look at all this die.
Yeah, sexy. Gonna throw
Yeah.
mine in there too.
So nice to have a button
baby.
where I can just press to roll all NPCs initiative.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
that is pretty cool.
I rolled awfully.
You did.
That's
Get wrecked, man.
unfortunate.
All right. The first goblin up is gonna draw a sword and try and hit Wayfo. He does a terrible job at it and misses. He's a bit scared swinging wildly, not really aiming.
Swinging nervously at a demon.
Exactly. This goblin up here is on a suicide mission to grapple a polar bear.
Oh,
Nice.
Daler, I need an athletics or acrobatics. You gotta beat a 6.
well, I got a +5 in athletics, so
Or
fingers
just,
crossed.
and just hear me out.
I'm not taking the thing.
When
rolling.
when he's grabbing at your fur, just turn and whisper to him, "Harder, Daddy," and really freak him the fuck out.
Psychological
Yikes.
damage.
Right?
I will scar this goblin before he dies.
He shall know fear.
All right.
You shall no regret.
We have another goblin drawing a sword and swinging it at Wei Fo. This time a bit more competently.
Indeed. That
He
hits.
hits you for 6 points of damage.
I'm at 13.
Uh-oh.
Let's see. The boss is just gonna wait and see how things play out.
He's just gonna be the boss.
The other polar bear breaks free of his harness and begins running away.
You fucking cowards. Stand and fight.
Little bitch.
I'm just no. As runs,
You fucking pussy. Even after he was harshing on your form, bro. What the fuck?
yeah,
Right.
I know, right? He harshes on my form and he breaks free of himself. I guess seeing my
And he's
terrible
like-
form inspired him.
He's like, deuces. Peace out, yo.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. This goblin's gonna draw a bow at Wei Fo and miss. That's unfortunate. This other one's also going to... No, he's going to come in with a sword. Miss. Wei Fo, it is your turn.
My focus is on this Joker that actually hit me.
Okay.
And, you know what? He's just going to go full in on the performance here. You struck your god.
Damn.
How do you select a token here? Is it shift? What?
Alt
Yeah,
left click.
alt click.
Okay. Really,
No.
dice? Really, dice?
Is a swing and a miss.
Sorry, I saw a really good meme. That was pretty good.
Wayfo, is that it for
Wayfo.
you?
Sadly, a level 2 monk can do no more.
Oh,
All
no.
right.
You struck your
Biltram.
god, and then you swing over his head, and he's like, ah! Wait. What happened? I think I'm gonna cast Mind Sliver. On this guy. Did a shift left click to target somebody?
Alt left click.
Oh, all left.
Yeah. There you go. Intelligence saving throw.
They have an intelligence?
Oh my fucking god, dude.
Apparently.
Apparently that one
Dude,
does.
No way.
Is this how we die?
Oh
Yep.
god.
This is how we die.
Wow. That is something there. And other than that, I'm just gonna stay in cover and see what happens.
Yeah, you know, it's really not fair that Elaine's not here. We'll send one of your other NPC friends showed up to help out.
One of the polar
Okay.
bears could have stuck behind.
Fucking pussies.
Seriously.
You shouldn't have hit him, Brandon. God damn it.
The other one I freed, he still ran away.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll back up and let her have a turn. So, Dalar, you hear the sound of rope snapping inside the wagon. A moment later, you see another figure up on top level of the wagon.
Well, I'm gonna give her a wave. Give her a smile and a wave.
Yeah, let's see. And alright, he is not pushed off the top of the wagon. That goblin's gonna come up. Take a swing at Wayfo. Hits Wayfo for 4 points of damage.
Down to 9.
Alright, let's see. This goblin's gonna swing and a miss. Ah, yes, this guy. Swinging at the polar. No, that. I got it wrong. Off marked. No, disregard that, Dalar. That did not swing at you.
That's what I thought. You wouldn't dare attack.
Yeah, who would possibly in their right mind try to cut a polar bear? What's wrong with them?
Who would ever injure a polar bear?
Yeah. Kind of monster. Oh wait, it is monster. Oops. Oh no. This kind of
Technically a
monster.
beast.
Goblin kind.
Oh god.
You.
I guess
you
you're
are
the
a
monster. You. When you look in the mirror and realize you were the monster.
You were the man behind the murder.
The whole time.
Uh-oh. Oh man.
Alright, this guy's gonna also try to shoot a short bow at Wei Fo.
Hey.
Supposed to let go of the string, not the wood.
No, he did that. It just landed in the guy in front of him.
Nice.
It's its turn. And finally, Dalar.
Oh my fucking god. It's about damn time. Waiting years for this. Oh my god. Fucking bite the shit out of that leader there.
He's 20 feet up.
Oh, can I not
Yeah.
climb and hit him?
You can go after the bitch monkey down below.
I guess I'll have to go. I wanted to climb on top and hit his ass.
Yeah.
Probably gonna one tap this other guy though, so good.
Guess I'll go for
That's
this
not
guy.
necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
There we go. I forgot that I have height markers available here.
Alright, I assume you'll just use the first roll and the 7 damage for that? Or do you want to reroll again?
No, that'll be fine.
And now, oh, he's already dead?
Yeah. They're goblins. They're not, you know.
Yeah, dude, they're like 7 HP, bro.
5. Can I climb up here without needing extra movement? Is it low enough for that?
Um,
I'm right here.
there's no difference in terrain height there. This is just a map I had available to throw some tokens
Okay.
on.
5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40. Fucking beat the fucking shit out of this guy now. God damn it.
That unfortunately misses.
What the fuck does he dodge? I just shot his buddy. He's clearly not thinking. I just like eat shit on the way over. God damn it.
Yeah, on a side note for us players, low threat rating creatures like this are a surefire way for a party to wipe on them.
Mm-hmm.
Because equivalently, all of these guys assembled are like the equivalent of like a threat rating 2 mob. But a threat rating 2 mob at best is going to have maybe 2 attacks per turn. Right now, these much lower threat rating guys have 4 attacks on me per turn, minimum.
Yeah, that's why I ran over and hit this guy and didn't worry about climbing because I couldn't hit the boss guy. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, you're gonna die.
Right, we
Yeah,
shouldn't
it's just
spare our
basically
attacks.
the law of averages is whoever has the more attacks on their side is going to prevail.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, all of us missed at least one attack on our turn.
What you're saying is I should just start using magic missile right now.
Probably. As we all missed once already, and that's gonna
Yeah.
start being lethal. That might
Yeah.
already be lethal.
You should
So-
drain your fucking spell book and then use anything else that you can, including sticks, stones, twigs, and harsh words.
I was just about to say, all that I know right now is that I am utterly baffled that a goblin just passed an intelligence saving throw on the cantrip.
That is a
I'm in
fair
complete shock. Literally just like, what? Did I cast my spell wrong? What's going on?
Dutchman was losing his shit over the goblin.
Like literally I cast the spell and then it immediately goes into the meme of the lady doing the calculations in her head and looking confused.
Right.
Let's see. This guy got shot in the back. He's going to disengage. See the polar bear behind his buddy. And shove his friend into the polar bear.
I get an attack of opportunity because he stumbled.
Hold on, let's see exactly what happens here.
Dang it.
No, it's like pushing a brick wall.
He literally pushed himself over.
He forgot that his friend never skips leg day.
You've got his friend goes to the gym 4 days a week.
His friend's like, bitch, grabs him, throws him over top of him.
Mm-hmm.
Here, you deal with the fucking bear.
Alright, next goblin's gonna take a roll at Wei Fo.
Down to 1.
Wei Fo is hurting pretty bad.
Wayfo will be rolling death saves here within 1 turn.
Sounds about right.
Duly noted.
Oops, forgot to change targeting, but that's okay. Misses anyway. Alright. Let's see. This goblin sees the approaching polar bear, so he's going to turn and fire an arrow at it. Let's see. Or 8 points of damage to Dalar with a excellent shot.
Yeah. Oh.
All right. Give me just a moment here. All right. That's that guy. This guy's going to take a swing at Wei Fo again. Misses. Wei Fo, made it to round 2. What you got?
Punch.
I believe another swing and a miss.
Wei Fo is having a rough night.
Yep.
He's always in good rolls on the other stuff. I neglected all kind of Miriam.
He's become too obsessed with medicine and not enough obsessed with violence.
That is unfortunate. Biltram, we are back to you.
Alright, so I'm going to see. I'm going to move myself well enough out of the way that maybe I won't get attacked right off the bat. And I see, well, I can see these two goblins here.
Hold up.
Wei Fo.
Can I offer a suggestion? If there's anything for you to hide behind it, pop out, shoot, go right back behind it. It'll give you partial cover or full cover. Because you can't leave this map without them being able to fucking hit you. They've got short bows.
Yeah. I guess the main reason I moved away was just because I don't know if you would be considering me casting Magic Missile as being revealing myself over here behind this tree where I'm in close quarters. That being said, if I can see them all from behind this tree, then I'll cast Magic Missile and just maybe move back further to this set of trees behind and try to use that as at least partial cover.
Yeah, I think that would work. These aren't real thick trees, so should be fine.
All right. Yeah, in that case, I'll cast Magic Missile. First level spell, +1. So, I guess we do 2 darts on this guy, then 1 on the.
Okay.
So 4 damage.
Yep,
Each?
4 damage per dart. Yep.
It's pretty substantial.
Yeah, he killed one and the other's half dead.
Nice. And then yeah, so after that, I would like to fall back to whatever these trees or shrubs are. If I can get like behind them, that would be ideal.
Yeah, you can get behind them. Give yourself
Okay,
a
cool.
little bit of cover.
Wait. And that will conclude my turn. Old Magic Missile.
Alright. Wei Fo collapses to the ground.
No.
No?
Wei Fo spends 1 key and dodges.
Ooh.
Nice.
He's still standing.
From the back of the
Anything is
court with the
happening.
3.
The Hail Mary.
Pretty much. That's precisely what it was.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
What it be, what it do. It's your boy back with another food
Let's see.
review.
So that was your patient defense that you
Yeah.
did? Okay.
Yeah, it allows me to be able to utilize dodge.
Alright. So, I mean, it gives him disadvantage, which is enough to make it miss. Alright. So that's that. Let's see, Goblin up on the wagon. Swings and a miss. Let's see. This goblin is going to turn around scared at the polar bear that's popped up behind him and try and fire off a shot and miss. Oh, no, an 8 hits?
12
Alright, I guess he's got a +4, so... Yeah, he somehow manages to hit you for 3 points of damage with a poorly placed short bow.
Goblins have
Shrek.
amazing decks.
That is some nutty decks.
That's why they're so damn sneaky all the time.
Those little shits. I'm gonna break his neck.
Dalar, it is your turn.
What the fuck is this hawk doing?
Moving up behind you.
Is it within range?
Yeah, he is right next to you.
Beat the shit out of that hawk first. What the fuck is this guy doing getting away space?
He's providing flanking, I bet.
Can I pause? There we go. Good dumbass piece of shit. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you, you stupid bird. Get out of here.
Hey, what's your name? What? What's
Fuck
your
you.
name? Name's Tony. Fuck
Oh
you,
my god, I
Tony.
remember that video.
Well, fuck you.
Oh, what's your name? Ezekiel. Well, fuck you too, Ezekiel.
It's been so
Oh,
long since
dang
we
it.
did.
I missed it.
Wasted
But,
your good shot on the hawk.
I'm gonna run over to here and just kind of stand in the middle and roar.
Alright.
Oh god, I fucking smacked the shit out of that bird. I airshot it. Food chain and shit.
Oh, this goblin's gonna swing a sword at you. Hits you. 5 points of damage. Let's see, this goblin here, hearing a polar bear roar behind him, feels that's a little bit bigger of a threat at the moment. Gonna turn around and swing for 6 points of damage.
Ow. Oh, it's on Laura.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez.
Goblin's dropping his bow, running up with a sword. And flanking. Still misses.
One that flanks me.
Wei Fo, you are still alive.
Yeah, Wayfo's had enough of this shit. Whoops, wrong one.
You won't like Wayfo when he's angry.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, that hits.
Good. My next target, because I'm firing up key for flurry of blows. Is Dickford dead? The first one I hit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go. And that hits as well.
Is he down? Or
He's not
still
down
alive?
yet. He is still up.
Oh! Love them dice.
He's still up.
But hey, you got one this turn.
Yeah.
It only took you to round 3 to be productive in this battle. But you did it.
To be more than just a tank.
So the service of taking damage for the rest of us is definitely not a bad thing.
I mean, that's pretty much all he was good for at that point.
For
Yeah.
2 rounds, that's what he did.
Biltram.
Okay, I'm going to work my way on over here to the edge of the trees where I can just see these two over here that
Okay.
are to the left of Wayfo. Then I'm gonna cast me another magic missile. Magic missile. Phew. And there we go. Nice. So I'm just gonna send 2 to the one that's targeted and 1 dart to the one that's next to Wayfo.
Alright. Find the right one on the list there. There we are.
Let's say, wait, why did the one next to Alara just die?
It was a ricochet.
It's bouncing off them.
But little does everybody know, my magic missiles are actually AK-47 rounds.
Combo breaker.
The bullet just hit that one and ripped through him and hit the one behind him.
Collateral.
Yep. And yeah, that'll be it.
Alright. The goblin tries to push Alara back down into the wagon and fails.
Turns out having a -1 in strength isn't good for that.
Alright, this guy's gonna run around over here to get that flanking.
Ooh.
Going for that sweet, sweet flanking there.
Hits you for 3 points of damage, Dalar.
3 whole damage.
Uh-oh. Better look out.
Dalar.
I'll fucking bitch slap his ass. Fucking hit, or did I miss again?
That misses.
God, what is with me? They're fucking +7. I'll fucking rip his neck off with my teeth. I'm just gonna decapitate him with my mouth. And then I'm gonna drop the head in front of the other guy. And just look at him.
All right. He is badly injured, but he is not backing down.
Wow. Okay.
Hits you for 9 points of damage.
Jesus Christ.
You made him angry.
Can eat him for dinner, god damn.
He says, "That was my brother, you bastard."
Oops, that's the wrong one. Let's try that again. Alright. And... battle rages on atop the wagon. The goblin boss lights up a torch and drops it into the wagon. The whole thing quickly going up in flames. Wayfo, it is your turn.
Just a moment. Well, that's a whole lot of dead goblins. This motherfucker ain't dead yet.
That he is not.
You should change that.
I'm gonna change that to his relationship status is gonna be, it's complicated.
Extra
Maybe not.
complicated.
Still complicated.
Yeah.
It's less complicated than what he originally thought.
hmm
What do you expect in Brooklyn? What is going on over there?
They weren't having much luck swinging weapons at each other, so they started to try and grapple each other. Alara just threw the goblin boss into the burning wagon.
Ooh, fancy.
Nice. Pretty
I
sick.
mean, when she said no, she meant no, man.
No means no.
Biltram.
So if I emerge from my little hidey hole over here, a few feet,
Mm-hmm.
and I see both of these enemies down here.
He is inside and hidden, but this guy is on top and visible.
What about this one over here? I see them both. Between Jay
Yeah,
and
yeah, he probably has half cover from where you're at, but magic missile doesn't care if that's what
so I
you're
say
doing.
it doesn't matter now because I'm gonna kill him anyway. All right, magic missile. Yeah, unless I get a 1 on this roll. But anyway, I'm gonna send 2 darts at the goblin at the wagon, and then 1 dart to the goblin in between Way and Dewar.
All right.
And after that, I'm going to scamper my way back on into half cover over here by this tree. So,
All right.
yeah, tree cover. Woo!
Dalar?
Alrighty. Well. I think there's any way I can feasibly get to that guy. If I were to dash, could I run over there, jump up, and just tackle him off of it?
With a good athletics check, because that's quite a lot of height that you'd have to get up.
I do have 40 move speed and 30 climb speed.
Oh, you have a climb speed.
Oh, I think I do, don't I? I think bear does in general have 30 climb speed, doesn't it?
Should say on your sheet.
I don't know where it would say it on my sheet.
I was about to say, with the size of the bear, would he be able to just charge straight into the wagon and knock it over sideways and knock the goblin off the top?
Yeah, but then they might get the boss might be able to get out of the hole. It's on fire.
True.
I don't know where like a climbing speed would be shown. But just looking at the 5e tools bestiary, the bears all have climbing of 30 feet.
I'm
The
sure
brown bear, the black bear, and the awakened brown bear all have that in the CR ratings that I have available. So I assume polar bear would have climb speed of 32.
polar bear has a swim speed of 30.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah,
Climb.
'cause
What? I can't
polar bears-
climb? That's
Nope.
racist.
Polar bears don't live around trees.
White
man.
bears can't jump.
That's
That's
right.
racist.
That is racist.
If you were a black bear, you'd be able to climb without any problem at all, man. Even brown bears know how to climb. But white bears, fuck that shit.
So, as you go and attempt to climb up this, you find the structure is rather weakened from the fire. Rather than being able to climb up it, you fly through it.
You're disassembling it.
And it collapses.
Oh yeah, dude, this is the
Big-
way to do it. I'm telling you.
Big cloud of embers
Mission
and stuff
failed
rises up.
successfully.
Task failed successfully.
Yes.
I love that.
Goblin boss steps out of the fire just long enough to take some swings. Pair of misses. Wayfo.
Wayfo's gonna totally do a Wayfo thing. He's going to yell over to him, "Catch!"
Don't tell me this homie gonna die to a dart. What a way to go.
Not quite.
He ain't letting himself go down like that. The boss can't die to a little dart. It's humiliating.
He is not looking very good.
To be fair, he didn't when he was healthy to begin with.
And then she is going to disengage. Back up. And Piltram.
Okay, I'm moving down out of my cover just so I can. 'Cause this guy's outside now, right?
Yes.
All right. Because I'm still so in shock, and I have to make sure that I casted the spell correctly earlier. Let's try this again. Wait, I clicked the wrong one. My bad.
I was gonna say, it doesn't seem.
Maybe I did cast it wrong earlier. I don't know.
I was like, I could have sworn I saw something
Interesting.
different pop up last time you casted it.
Yeah, you did. I accidentally just made an object, and I don't know how to get rid of it. Sorry.
That's alright. I can clear that.
Apparently, we're casting spells wrong.
It must just be
You're just casting all sorts of crazy shit. We got wild magic over here.
Oh yeah, I was about to
Wow,
say.
magic going off over here.
This is why I don't drink, guys.
Just mention max magic with alcohol and it gets dangerous.
This
Oh my God.
motherfucker, dude. I swear to God,
Right?
this is an intelligent pack of goblins.
Apparently,
These guys were fucking intellectuals. We could have just like sat down and had a conversation and shit.
Yeah, struck a deal. Like, you guys keep half the iron, we'll keep the other half. Okay, like, had a deal going.
Yep.
Dalar?
Oh, I didn't have him selected. That's unfortunate. It ruined the whole mood. Take his head clean off with a big ol' swipe with my whole body behind it.
With that, he drops dead.
I also like to point out that this Alara character basically almost won a 1v3 over here versus a goblin boss. Too.
Hey now! I killed this guy.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right.
It was a
Kill that
1v2.
guy.
It was a 1v2.
But still.
Wayfo's going to go over and thank her for her assistance.
Thank you all for making a distraction, otherwise I'm not sure I would have made it out of there.
Just what were they doing with you? How did you get caught here?
I've been tracking them for several days. They've been causing all sorts of problems out here recently. Got a little bit too close one night and they snuck up behind me and got me. Tied me up and kept me hostage.
Ah. That's truly quite awful. I'm sorry to hear that.
Were you with them the other night?
I've been with them for several days.
Did they attack a group of dwarves?
Not to my knowledge.
Where did they come upon this sled of iron?
I think their hawk saw it and saw it abandoned, so they sent some people out to go retrieve it.
It's interesting. It answers some questions for us, it would seem.
Well,
Do you know?
while Wayfo is looting the corpses, when he gets over to the hawk, he's just going to pick it up like it's a, piece of beef jerky, and he's just going to start munching on it.
Wayfo, as you're looting, you do find, 2 potions on the leader, as well as some coins on the leader and some scattered about the rest of them.
What are the potions?
Let's see.
I'm assuming nobody wants to be carrying around the riffraff trash money.
I mean, I can.
Oh, I will take them, I suppose.
He'll burden himself with the coin.
I should try to make myself useful where I can.
Yeah, Wayfo just hands them over to him.
I'll be the coin master.
But it's garbage coins.
Don't talk about my altcoins like that. Damn it.
He took great offense to
It's
that.
like you just invested everything into Dogge.
Yeah, I
Or is that
put top
dope?
dollar into Shiba Inu. God.
Those two potions, you're not sure exactly what they are, but if you agitate them slightly, the muddy liquid brings some little bits into view. Fish scale, hummingbird tongues, cat claws, squirrel hair floating inside the liquid.
Oh. Ew. Like, Wayfo doesn't really say that, like, with full emotion. But he actually is, like... He's sitting there munching on a dead hawk. And he looks at the potions and goes, ew.
So, Alara, you wouldn't happen to know where this Goblin Pack's base camp is at, would you?
She motions to the what remains of the flaming wagon.
Ah, just a roaming band of ruffians, then, eh?
It would seem.
Very well. From where do you hail?
I'm from around. I guess it's been a while since we've run into each other.
Indeed, it certainly has. Well, we are tasked with bringing this wagon of resource back to Bryn Shander. So, if you would like to accompany us there, it would be welcome for you to come along. But if you have other business, so be it.
I have other business I must attend to, but you seem more than capable of getting it back to town now.
The game seems to have restarted itself.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
module that I thought I had loaded, but I had not, so I'm loading it. It should come back up in a moment. That way I can properly add the potions to the inventory. Let's see. I'm not sure that's working all right. Well, I'll figure it out later. Okay, so... Yeah, it's not showing up all right. That's okay.
Okay. I got him.
Yeah. They're supposed to be hidden as to what they are still until you figure it out, but the module that hides it's not working right now.
No worries.
Be a problem for later. Okay, so you
There are a
guys...
couple of potions of nasty shit.
Yes. Okay, so you guys head back towards town once again.
Yes, with the iron in tow. Well, actually, the iron is the main sled.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so, yeah, you make it back to town. It's well into the night at this point. But you do make it back safely.
And if the tavern is closed, we'll go over to the local inn and stable the sled and dogs.
It is the same location here, but you go inside and you get some rooms for the night.
Woo. Long rests.
Yup.
Woot woot. I'm all about that rest time, my guy.
I'll get my one wild shape back.
Get my 3 magic missiles back, which is really important.
I get my
Mhm.
key back.
Yeah.
Hey, your
Or
lifesaver.
chi.
Nice.
Whichever way you want to pronounce it.
I pronounce it qua. Is that okay?
No, that's
Oh.
stupid.
Oh, okay.
I'm judging you.
It's dumb and you should feel bad.
So, morning comes. The 3 dwarves you initially spoke to are waiting in the tavern. Hanging out in the morning when you wake up.
Greetings.
Hello there. Saw the cart of iron out front. Seems your mission was successful.
Yes. And Waypo's going to sit down there with them. There was a group of goblins that were taking it.
Oh. Sorry that was more trouble than expected.
It was no trouble. We relieved them of it.
Oh, that is most excellent to hear. Well, I guess you deserve your pay after all.
Thank you.
Let's see. He pulls out a small sealskin sack and... I believe we said a gemstone for each of you.
I'll nod.
That works for me.
What I am curious about is why the goblins were in need of iron.
Oh, who knows? Maybe they're trying to sell it. Maybe they wanted it to make their own weapons.
They said that their boss needed it.
Well, unless he's around to ask, I don't know that we'll ever know.
No, I believe he's dead.
Indeed.
I guess we'll never know.
Seems so.
Oh well, that's not our problem anymore.
Well, help was much appreciated.
Of course.
If you happen to ever go shopping in town at any of the shops we supply, let them know that you've helped us out. I might give you a little discount.
That is much appreciated.
Just out of curiosity for what I should write down in my notes, what are their names? What's the name of the people we helped out?
It is the
Herna,
one that
Crux, and Scorn.
Oh,
I think
Yeah.
Colin can verify. Herna, Crux, and Scorn.
yeah, Hirona did all of the talking, but then there was Korux and Storn as well.
cool. They're close.
They were all like one letter off, but that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we go into the shop. We helped out Runa, Crux, and Scorn. Do you mean Haruna, Korux, and Storn? Yeah, that's it.
That's true. I was like, that's oddly close, but oddly also off on all of them.
It was pretty close though. It was almost like you were trying to like be off by just a little bit. It was so close actually.
I wish that was intentional.
Yeah.
So close.
I feel like I need to now make a character who mispronounces everyone's fucking name.
That's just as fucking
Hair off.
and then when somebody tries to correct him, he's just gonna look at him and go, "Are you making fun of the way I talk?"
Yes, I am.
Like, oh, I didn't realize you had a speech impediment. I don't. Wait, what? It's just the way I talk.
Are you making fun of how I talk? Yes. And then yes, that's what is happening. Well, fuck you too, buddy.
Now we fight.
I figured out the thing with the potion, so now they are properly hidden as unidentified items.
Awesome.
Nice.
Dang.
I realized that I had a filter going that filtered out the hidden items, but not the original items.
That's silly.
Fair
Yes.
enough. We got it working.
Yes, we do.
And I think at this point, it's about that time of night.
That it is.
It seems like we're getting close.
You also all level up.
Hey, you hit it. That's
Now
the
level 3.
second biggest plot twist in this whole campaign.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
It's not even the rate of leveling, it's the fact that we've survived to the next level. That is the biggest surprise.
Yes.
There.
I'm still not sure that Dalar here still has his own soul after the first instance that he came across. So
After a previous encounter.
yeah. Well, I have to find out one of these days.
Nah, that's fine.
I'm gonna have to remember how to level up again.
There should be a document in the journal, the character creation document. The very
Yeah.
bottom of that should have the leveling up information.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Should work. If it doesn't, let me know. There are some things that I may have not imported since last time that may slightly be broken.
I was about to say, if you just want to save the leveling up process for next Sunday when we can get started a little bit earlier, that's fine with me too. So.
Yeah, that's fine. You're more than welcome to wait till next week to do that.
I'll probably just hop on a little early next week and do it before we play.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'll re-import all the classes and stuff next week because I think there's been some updates that broke a couple of things in what I had imported. So I'll fix that before next week.
Cool.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Good night.
All right.
That was fun.
Thanks for DMing. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.